Carlos Nelson with Cascade Media Group. And today we have a community activist here in the city of Kansas City, Mr. Lamar Vickers. I've known Lamar for, man, I would say for forever. Not
Yeah.
intimately as me and him run around, but I've seen him at a lot of community events. I've seen him speaking out for years. About issues that affect the community. And I invited him on to talk about the initiative that we are here at Cascade Media Group and Kansas City Business Association are trying to implement about block voting and group economics. And block voting and group economics does not work unless you can build numbers. And the numbers that we can build in our community are coming from the bottom two-thirds of the community, and how you connect with them through communications. That's one of the subjects I want Lamar to talk about. But the original call to him was about the Lynnwood Shopping Center when they just had a meeting, Urban Summit, the police chief and representatives of the Black community on loitering and some other things that were going on at the shopping center. And in that discussion with Lamar, he said that he got to the meeting, and I wanted him to talk a little bit about what took place once he came to the meeting and what his opinion is on uh, the whole incident of the loitering and what's happening at the Lynnwood Shopping Center, including, it's my understanding that the Sunfresh will be closing. Without further ado, Lamar, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me. And I'll start by saying this, that I personally do not agree with the approach that they're using up there, and the ideology that by running these people away from this area is going to solve anything other than not having them there. And that I encourage that what we need to do is to get up there with these individuals and see what resources we could bring to them to help get their lives on track, so that they will have something positive to do in their lives, and they won't have the time or the energy or the desire to stand out and loiter, because they got more positive things to do with their time. And so I believe that what we need to do is to create some type of resource center so that these people can be able to come and to get the resources and the programming that they need to help them. I offer that, we have to have a phone bank, so that when the employers try to reach them, they're not trying to reach somebody who doesn't have a phone, who can't keep a phone on. They got to reach us so we can reach out to them. You got to have an email bank. You got to have provisions in place that will help these people come out of the conditions they're in.
Well, I think that that is part of a solution, but I don't really think that was what they were trying to do. As far as I'm concerned, the meeting was about the loitering and the type of activities that were going on at the shopping center. And I think in private, I said to you, I don't think that that was even appropriate to be bringing the police chief or community leaders or anybody to speak on those matters, because that uh, Lynnwood Shopping Center has management, and management that should have taken care of the problem. You have security. Why was security letting uh, people congregate at the library or at the shopping center? I see it as a total failure of management. And when you look, because I live near the area, I have a vested interest. You see the wrought iron railings and gates uh, destroyed. You see loitering at the bus station, at the library, and a businessman brought that to my attention that because the city owns the property, no one really has a vested interest in making sure things run right. And I don't think it was the responsibility of the police or anybody else besides the management of that facility. And by not managing the facility properly, you have Sunfresh, my understanding, uh, Emmett Pearson's organization, Community Builders, they've lost $1 million. And as a result of that, the Sunfresh is possibly going to close. I haven't done the total research on that, but that's the word in my circles. And what does that do for the community when now you have another uh, place where you could buy groceries, fresh fruit, and what have you closing? How do you see that?
Well, it's like this. The activity that's going on up there has been going on for so long that the ones that are perpetrating the acts feel like it's normal. They see, and that's exactly why I say with Emmett and Don and them, they've done what they could. They said, man, we got security. Security gets up there. And I have personally, because the Bluford Library is like my office. I'm there all the time, in and out, in and out. Sunfresh, I shop there. And I would say 6 out of 10 times that you go into either one of those, Bluford Library or Sunfresh or that area, you come across loitering, violence, disarray, dysfunction,
Panhandling.
panhandling, and all of that is getting worse. So what has happened is then you had where I watched security apprehend and detain someone, and they did it and sat there for so long until they had to let them go. And so Chief Graves, I give to her credit and to the police credit that they have said that they had finally came up with a way that they can patrol the area better. But again, patrolling the area, they said they're going to write an ordinance that says you can't loiter in the business sector on Prospect.
What I'm asking, what I'm saying, that's not dealing with the problem. When you go to the suburbs and you go to the shopping centers, they have security people, and they don't require the police to solve a matter that is systemic in your business. That the management of that shopping center is responsible for the security and everything else, the upkeep and everything else of the shopping center. So where did the police come in to this?
Okay, let me say this to you, and I'm saying this from experience. Them young brothers up there, and especially when they get white security guards,
That's still
they look at
on management. You keep saying, so whatever type of security you need, that's what you hire. You can keep shifting the blame and saying, well, they didn't this and that. You got money in your budget for advertisement, for security, for cleanup, for this or for that. Then if you're spending the money, why aren't you getting the results?
Well, let me say it to this point. Let me say it like this. There's the vagrancy up there is so chronic that you have individuals that, first of all, know that they may get away because the police ain't gonna come. Secondly, that if they do come and the police come, that there's a chance they're not gonna take them to jail. If they take them to jail, because we don't have a jail, they don't spend no more than a day or two.
You keep talking about something totally different. It shouldn't even allow to happen. The first two or three people that started to congregate there, it should have been stopped.
Well, and I tell you,
I'm a businessman, and I had business at 3027 Prospect. And you was not going to lauder in front of my business because my customers, I didn't have no security. I could go out and say, hey, y'all got to keep it moving. Now, if they don't keep it moving, that's when you call the authorities. That's when the police but when you have private security and they're not doing their job, you either get a new company or you find a way to deal with that. To me, what is happening in our community is a bunch of excuses. Excuses are tools of incompetence. And I won't make excuses for the police chief, the community leaders, or the management of the shopping center, because every time we do something that we don't want to own up to what our responsibility is, the whole community loses. Just tell me, what do you think the effect of losing Sunfresh up there at that shopping center will be on this area?
That would be a travesty. And that's exactly why I say again, what you say is true in this sense. The problem is there. The problem has resonated to be of epidemic proportions. The problem has manifested itself to be very, very, very disruptive to the flow of business.
There we go.
So now what I'm saying to you is this, and what I'm saying to them is this. Look, ain't nothing, and this is our philosophy as KCOGs, ain't nothing we could do about yesterday except understand and learn from it. We got to take today and today forward to address not only that issue, all the issues that are in our community, that are plaguing our community, that have been plaguing our community for years.
Well, you just went into our next segment, block voting and group economics, as we know what's wrong, but I think if we can come together on those two issues, on coming together on getting our vote where we're bringing more people into the electoral process and not just having the numbers. Once we have the numbers and the block of voting, that the politicians and the people that we vote for, we send them into the arena with a definite strategy and some definite, this is what we're expecting you to represent for our block vote. And I think just saying get out the vote, register to vote. I think that's the wrong approach for our community. Our community build our numbers and then have a strategic plan and a direction that we would like to see our representatives represent us.
Well, I say this to that part. Our community is in dire need of a mechanism that will stimulate voting in our community. And I'm all for the block voting because we have to implement a procedure that will increase our numbers. And we have been, and I say this, right now, like we got a get out the vote rally September the 14th at Sunnyside Park out there on 82nd and Summit. And the theme of the day will be voter motivation, because we got to get our voter base motivated to utilize their right to vote. See, they keep talking about, well, man, we got to get people registered. And I'm saying, no. I mean, yes, we want to get the unregistered registered, but we have enough registered voters already captured in our community that if we get each and every registered voter to get out and exercise their rights to vote, and if we can direct their voting like it has been done in the past with freedom, and to be able to come out with the ability to be able to motivate these votes, that will go a long way as far as the recognition that is needed for the 3rd and the 5th district
so
at
we
City
can get a seat
Hall.
at the table. That's basically.
That's right, and Jeff City.
Yeah, well, I'm saying the seat at any table. If we're using our vote to influence political laws, and we use our economic power to who we spend your money with is who you give your power to. But it's not just coming together. What is the strategy? Once we do come together, and those are things that we need to pay more attention to just than this get out the vote or come together to vote. Why do we come together to vote? What is the purpose? We should have an agenda, and the people that represent us should be pushing that agenda forward. So in closing, what would you have to say?
In closing, I would say this, that the issues we spoke of today, until we as a community come together on it, it's just dialogue.
There we go. I like that, Lamar. I love that.
Yeah, and I say this to everybody listening. If you are not ready and willing to get involved, and your involvement comes in different levels. We got members are people who come to the meetings, be on the Zoom calls, get involved with the planning. Then you got donors who they just donate money, donate resources, donate goods and services. Then you got supporters. Supporters are the most important part because they are the ones that come and patronize your events. They come and participate in your rallies. They come and they participate in your protests. They participate in your public meetings. And so we're saying to all of you out there, figure out who you are. Figure out what part you want to play. There's a part for everybody to play.
That's right.
So that's what I would close with.
All right. And as we always close, when you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself. Good day.
This is brought to you by Kansas City Business Association, working to improve our community.